Cancer, welcome to your Celtic cross reading. What's up? What's going on? Show me Cancer, please. Show me that Cancer collective. Show me that Cancer collective. Show me that Cancer collective. I decided that it was flannel week. I have all this wonderful flannel. I'm attached to my flannel. You know, it's a 90s thing, as I've been telling some folks. And it's a shame I don't wear it half as much as I should. And I love me a good flannel. It's comfortable. Okay, it's comfortable. It's comforting. Yeah. What's going on, please? Show me Cancer. What's going on for Cancer? Like always. Flannel or no flannel? Take what resonates, leave it does not, yeah? If there's more than one energy clearly apparent to you on this board today, then you reverse those energies as you see fit. These are, after all, general collective readings, not one-to-one private, which is to say, they may not resonate. Frustrating, but normal. Check other placements, you will find yourself in there somewhere. Let's get cracking. What's going on, please? Show me Cancer, show me Cancer, show me Cancer. Scorpios was like, really? Again? And Pisces, I was like, oh dear. I actually had to give a difficult reading warning in the title. I hate those, but sometimes they are necessary. What's going on for you? Well, something just came through. As I said that, it's like, uh-oh, something just came through. I got to notice. I wonder what I did this time. What's God knows. God knows. It's usually not what I did so much as what I said these days, but you know. I mean, work is work. What's going on, please? Show me Cancer, show me Cancer, show me Cancer, show me Cancer. There we go. I have an interesting feeling for you today. What's going on? Dead center. Two of Wands, decision-making, crossing you, King of Pentacles. Well, he's just been showing up for everybody. King of Pentacles has been everybody's fan guy and fan gal all week. Practical. Is this a practical decision, Christina? We're thinking about this. Okay, what's crowning you? Communication. We're thinking about talking. Cool. In the past, the world, something cycled out, cycled in, renewed. I'm guessing cycled out because it is past orientation. Exiting, a case of the owies, Three of Swords. Heartbreak, pain, that's easing up, that's passing out. Okay, good. Before us, Two of Pentacles. A little bit of confusion, though. Two of Pentacles. Okay. Your strengths, Nine of Cups. I know what makes me happy. Environment, Four of Wands. Relationship energy. Excuse me. I don't know why that was weird. Okay. Hopes and fears, Two of Swords. I want to see this? Question mark? I want to know the truth? Do I? It's kind of like that. The outcome. Well, you're doing something with the Knight of Swords there. Interesting. Pretty light, functionary. But there's some elements here that are curious. Pretty easy surface presentation. And yet there's hesitation here. Clearing up pain. Something doesn't hurt the way it used to, so that's good. And yet there's this kind of confusion about what to do. And that's with you a couple of times. Now, don't get me wrong, you have some immediate upfront decision-making backed by communication, but there's this kind of longer view here with the Two of Pentacles about resolution on a larger scale. Anyway, let's jump on in there, see what's going on. Let's see that Two of Wands for you. The heart is your reading. Show me that Two of Wands, please. Show me that Two of Wands. 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 Ha ha ha. Oh. Well, like I said, I thought we were going to have an interesting reading for you today. Knight of Swords, Knight of Swords. So, you got the finger. So, a little bit misgiving there, eh? It's no big deal. No big deal. It's not a decision of any particular consequence, Christina. Don't make it into a big deal, okay? We know how you are. Yeah, you do know how I am. And it's not really me that's making it a big deal, it's you. Just thought I'd put that back out there. The Devil, Queen of Cups, Knight of Swords. Look, this is actually not a pattern. It's not. There is a delay effect here. That the more that it delays, the more intense the feeling gets to quote unquote do something. So it's a delayed action of the heart space. But it's being posed in theory. The only reason I see you lingering over this decision is because you can't tell if it's coming from a good place in you or a bad place. But the more that that sits with you, ironically, that goes back to the point of tension, which becomes the devil, which makes you feel bad all over again, which kind of delays your hand in taking or making a decision. See what I'm saying? So it is kind of a patternized loop, but it's in the form of I need to take care of this or I'm just going to feel worse. See what I'm saying? And there is something here we do want to take care of. There you are right there, Queen of Cups. It's a matter of the heart. And there's, the more we delay this decision, because the King of Pentacles is not known for being rushed. So even though you want an answer, Two of Wands, the King of Pentacles is like, wait a minute. Everybody just shut up. Look, I'm experienced. Okay, we're going to sit and think on this. And so the more we do that, the more this King of Pentacles delays your active decision, your practical side in conflict with your emotional self. Classic Cancerian conflict. You know, it starts to feel more and more like a pressure thing. Pressure. Which is a great song, Under Pressure, by David Bowie and Freddie Mercury. However, in reality, it don't feel so good. So we don't like being under pressure. And the King of Pentacles is like, I'm going to take my time with this. But this is what you actually want to do. The more you delay, the more that intent, do something. Right? That's why it's actually not a bad thing as far as I can tell. It's just that sense of pressure to act. Because your heart space is demanding action. But your King of Pentacles, as far as I can tell, is delaying your hand. Not all devils are what we think they are, guys. It depends on the surrounding context, clarification, that kind of thing. I'm saying that devil is, if I delay any longer, this is going to feel worse. Can I say and or do something, please? And so it creates that pressure cooker effect. Okay. And then we end up taking kind of spontaneous, or what feels like spontaneous actions just to alleviate some of that pressure. Knight of Swords. Okay. Let's see that King of Pentacles. Let's see why he's up there on the throne being like, we're going to be chill now. We're not going to do this. 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 Okay. What's going on? What's up with that King of Pentacles, y'all? What's going on? Some of that King of Pentacles. Some of that King of Pentacles. Some of that King of Pentacles. We've been sitting on this one a hot minute. That's what she said. The Wheel of Fortune, the Sun, the Page of Pentacles. Wow. No wonder the tension's so high. Us investing in this, okay. And yes, I use royal language. I don't know why. I think it's just a way to let you know that I relate by and say we or us. It's my thing. I started speaking like that a long time ago as part of my formal training, and I never dropped it because it's still relatable. But this is something we have been sitting on for a while now. A Wheel of Fortune. Oh, time has passed. So what your heart wants to do and what you're allowing yourself to practically do are two different things. And thus it's creating that tension. Your heart wants to take action. Let's make that clear. And I trust it, actually. Like I said, that devil is being born out of nothing being done. See what I'm saying? Did that King of Pentacles be like, no, we can chill. Time is on our side. We don't need to rush this. Wheel of Fortune, the sun. The sun's always going to be there, Christina. The sun is always going to be there. But it's like a Page of Pentacles. That's nothing to the King of Pentacles. That's absolutely nothing. So your heart wants to get in there and proclaim itself in some way. But your practical energy is like, I got time under the sun to invest in that. Get out of here. I can sit on it. What? That's completely two different opposing directions. And what's I said, that devil's being allowed a lot of room to breathe. Pressure, anxiety, do something. Oh my God, am I running out of time? Your heart feels like it might be running out of time. Your practical says, nah, we got time on our side, right? Well, when you're Mick Jagger, I'm sure that that feels like that's a good, but not everybody's Mick Jagger. Okay. So you got to figure that out. Is time indeed on your side? Because you're like, I'm not in a rush for that investment, but your heart very much wants to. I'll drop that page when I get to it. Let's see it. What is in this communication, Cancer? The truth of you must will out. There is this sense of, yes, I could be happy if I start the investment, but what's the rush? It's not going anywhere. Huh. Your heart disagrees. Very much. Your heart disagrees. You know what this reminds me of? In a way, I guess, low-key. Loose analogy here. It's like an overly elaborate version. You know how it is when you connect with somebody and you exchange numbers and then there's that rule. What's the rule? Okay. You got to wait 3 days. Who came up with that? I don't know. It's an arbitrary rule. I've yet to understand its origin. But for some reason, this is the rule. That's what you're kind of showing me, right? You have somebody's number, call it, email it, whatever. And you're like, I got to wait. But instead of 3 days, you're like 3 years. Or whatever. Because your heart's showing me pressure, but your practical self says, I could invest in the sun at any time. It's kind of like that, but a little larger. Let's see that 8 of Wands, some of that 8 of Wands, some of that 8 of Wands, some of that 8 of Wands. I feel like your King of Pentacles is trying to cover with that attitude for the intensity of your heart space. Why is that? Why, though? Because all it's doing is provoking a devil. Let's see that 8 of Wands. I got to see this. This is interesting. Let's see that 8 of Wands, please. The Moon, 4 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. Why? It's almost like your secret pleasure. You know you could communicate with this, but you choose not to. The Moon, 4 of Pentacles, the 9 of Cups. Are you afraid of how much this would give you pleasure? But your King of Pentacles self is like, nah, it's not like that. Just, I'm not in a rush. Yet your heart has a particularly different heartbeat than what your practical self is insisting. It has its own particular leisurely pace. Those two are not in rhythm at all. Your emotional self is dying to talk to this, whatever this is. But you're like, no, it's not. You've been refraining from this. What's the bigger thrill for you here? Having strong feelings that you have no intention to speak on or act on? Or that you take pleasure from the delayed effect? Do you like the idea of it more than the actual reality? I don't understand. What's with all the withholding? That tells me this is within your wheelhouse of possibilities to actually communicate. But you choose not to. It's like a secret pleasure that you could. Okay. Let's see that world. Well. What's going on? Let's see that world, please. The world for the world. Ace of Pentacles, the 5 of Wands. Yeah, we've been resisting a new opportunity. In the past, you understood you could have one. We shot it down. The world is here twice, which tells me it still has the opportunity to be re-engaged. So if it was closed, the world is there again, which means it can be reopened. The Ace of Pentacles in your past at some point was opted out of. There was a real opportunity here that was resisted, though. 5 of Wands. No. it was closed out, but it kind of stays in that suspended state of I could re-engage with it. What have we been doing this whole time? Three of Swords on the exit. A sense of pain, rejection. It doesn't feel like it used to. Let's see that Three of Swords. So the idea of the investment's still with you, but you refrain. Your heart doesn't want to do that. Your heart actually wants to meet this wherever it is. Page of Cups, the Tower, Four of Swords. Ever since one day, once upon a time, somebody revealed their feelings. Disaster happened. Well, not disaster, the right thing happened was with the Tower. And in the revelation of feelings, and perhaps someone's absence of them, we've had a lot of time to rest on this Four of Swords, come to terms with it. Okay. So here we have what looks like a lingering impression of real heartbreak with the emotional kind of timidity that is the Page of Cups. So this was a very tender moment that kind of revealed itself in pain about the truth of someone's feelings. It ultimately ended in rejection. The Tower was brought down, and we've been resting on this since Four of Swords. So like I said, the initial pain and or shock of whatever this is exiting. But it's never really left you. It's something that presented itself as an opportunity once upon a time. And to be kind of honest with you, you kind of toy with it a little bit to this day. That it was yours, or that it could be yours, or that it might still be yours. It's kind of like I could pull the trigger on that particular level of communication. My heart wants to, but there's something where you kind of default to in time. There's no rush for that particular sun. Then why is your heart so stressed out to connect with it now? Two of Pentacles. I guess we're going to clarify the whole darn thing today. Let's see the Two of Pentacles. I'm trying to understand what the heck you want. I see that it's left this mark on you. And I can see that you delay it. It gives you a great deal of secret pleasure that it could be yours. But you don't act towards it. Let's see that Two of Pentacles, please. The old back and forth. What to do, what to do. Judgment, indeed. Eight of Cups, Five of Pentacles. You have a really straightforward judgment call here today, my darling. Eight of Cups, the Five of Pentacles. You have a judgment call, a spiritual attachment to you to separate and or break. Make up your mind on the subject. There's this idea of something must be left behind. It's a very strong judgment call. Why am I saying the Four of Wands then in your environment? To detach is a choice. Yes, it is. And it's one that we had to take full ownership of. You going back and forth on it, and likely have been, and will continue to do so until a judgment's made. Eight of Cups, emotional detachment, walking away. Five of Pentacles from something that's broken, fragmented, or cannot be undone. You know, it's just done or undone, fixed or unfixed. It just... By that I mean unfixed. It's like it remains an unfinished job. It will not progress. It will not go further. It is our judgment call, our lesson, to recognize within us our own sense of dissatisfaction and the inability to bring something together, to understand that abandonment is a choice. What does that mean to you, and is it right for you? These are all questions we must ask of the self. No one else can do it for you. And I can see that you've been wrestling with that particular concept for a hot minute and will continue to do so until your spirit is settled on a particular subject. Okay, that's incredibly straightforward. Very straightforward. All the pieces are coming to place, eh? Nine of Cups. And your strengths. Do you know how to love yourself? Do you know what wish fulfillment is? Okay. Wish fulfillment being, because I love myself, I understand what I must do. Okay? Oh boy, the water signs are putting me through it today. Let's see that Nine of Cups, please. Some of that Nine of Cups. Justice, Nine of Cups, Ten of Swords. Oh, yes. Excellent question. You seem to be aware of your Nine of Cups to some extent, how you love yourself. You're saying part of that, I understand, is my responsibility to know when things are ended. I agree. Completely agree. You're saying part of justice here is understanding that choice sometimes means sacrifice of the self or situation, but that means you also have to understand who you are. So what are you going to choose for yourself based on what you know about yourself and what your worth is and what the measure of balance is? What does balance mean to you? What does justice mean to you? What does fairness mean to you? What does karma mean to you? Okay. How are you honoring thyself? This needs to be decided on your bridge point. I don't know what it entails exactly. I have an idea. I just know it's a very powerful decision, one that you have not completely crossed to the other side with yet. It's really going to come down to how well you know yourself. Are you in violation of your own practices, or are you upholding them? Okay, Four of Wands in the environment. Let's see that Four of Wands, please. Some of that Four of Wands, some of that Four of Wands. Let's see that Four of Wands, please. In your environment, some sort of relationship energy here. Eight of Swords, the Four of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles. You hold on to this because you say it represents stability. I see. You have two different Four of Pentacles. The one that you secretly desire, and the one that you say is yours, that you have to hold on to it, even though you can't find yourself in it anymore. Eight of Swords. You have no particular feeling towards it or regards to it at the personal level. You're saying whatever this relationship is, technically speaking, on the surface represents stability. That's kind of where it stops and starts. It's not a judgment call on my part. It's what you're showing me. That you, Eight of Swords, don't particularly feel one way or another about it. It causes you more mental conflict to bring emotions into it. It's easier for you to look at it, view it, and therefore make decisions around it in terms of stability. That is your environment. It is heavily 3D oriented. Okay. Here's the stability, but no emotional representation of self. That's something over here in your strengths that you're sorting out. What did I say? Is this a good representation of who you are, or does it cross who you are? There's a reason why, on your bridge point, it was imperative for you to understand this. It is going to be a decision for you. Now, going back to your opening, I see you desiring something that's currently not yours, but you understood that you emotionally could participate in it, could have it, and you feel a certain urgency towards it to the point that it feels like a lot of pressure. Your King of Pentacles tells you to chill, that you can find happiness anywhere, and that you have plenty of time. Somewhere in there is a not truth. Okay? It's like your King of Pentacles is just telling you to wait it out, wait it out, wait it out. It's not going anywhere. Your heart's not convinced of that. There is the pressure here, at least there was in the past, to close out an opportunity. We resisted it. But it also remains as an open door, or at least that's how your energy perceives it. You withhold active communication from it, although it would please you the most to engage with it. You had painful lessons tied to this that's exiting. It's looking like we've absorbed some powerful lesson in there, okay? That you've healed from it. But I still see you in something today that does not represent emotional conflict. It represents the absence of solid emotions, but a strong practical self, where you say your stability lies at the end of the day, and it also begins every day. That's heavy maintenance, in play energy. If you say you know you know yourself as well as I believe you do have decisions to make. Okay? It really does come down to personal identification. Nine of Cups is here three times, excuse me. 1, 2, 3. Do you love yourself well enough to understand what the right thing is for you? And are you prepared to act on it? That means either choosing this and completely standing by it with your whole emotional self, which I do not see there, or breaking from it because you are not present in it, emotionally or spiritually. Let's take this particular situation, which does seem to call to your heart. There is a sense of urgency attached to it, even if your practical self doesn't want to see it. I understand that's important to you as part of the story, but I'm going to go ahead and ask you to remove that influence. I don't even know where it is. You haven't seen it in a long time. I don't know. We're going to put that influence, set it aside, and the opportunity that it used to represent and could still do. We're going to put that aside. I want you to focus on the task at hand. Where do you belong? Not just practically, but emotionally. Your home should feel like a home too, not just a place you go in and out of. Or is that stability enough for you to operate a particular sense of self that you can more or less say you can live with and maybe even be happy with? You got to ask yourself what is indeed right for you and what you're prepared to fully accept or fully reject. Okay? No disrespect to that particular energy. I can tell it was a powerful influence on you. But it's really not the main gig. I can still see it influences you to this day, even in of its absence. Okay? But this is really the task at hand. Okay? Let's see that Two of Swords, please. Show me that Two of Swords. Show me that Two of Swords. It's a hell of a thing, I know, to have a whole world built up and co-create with somebody and to not find yourself in it. You got to ask yourself if that's something you indeed can live with, because that's the real choice, okay? And if it is, congratulations, you know that about yourself. Your world's in place. Nothing has to change except maybe you have a little bit more emotional responsibility attached to it that says, I'm still here. And I still love it to some extent and in some way. And I can still find myself in it. Or you reject it, understanding that sense of core stability isn't enough. You need to see yourself and experience yourself as a whole person in it too. Okay. Ownership of responsibility, ownership of self. That's your strength. You say you're actually pretty good at it. So do that, please. Okay. You see that Two of Swords and the hopes and fears? Yeah. Show me that Two of Swords, please, and the hopes and fears. I have to say, I had a feeling yours would be interesting. This one's a little bit more than interesting. There's a lot going on in here. Ace of Swords, Four of Cups, Two of Pentacles. I know. Right there. I see why you get caught in the crossroads of this decision. You keep saying, I need to know the truth. Can I live without this? The answer is yes. But if you can't see it, then you won't act or make a decision. Never mind make a decision that you can trust. You have to trust yourself. So your hope is there and your fear is, what if I make the wrong decision and I make the wrong conclusion? Maybe I'm just unhappy. Maybe I can live with that. Just to recap, your 3D world is solid and tight, predictable, maintained. Your emotional self is completely absent from it. So could you technically, in theory, yeah, keep going on like this? You bet. That's a fear. On the other side, the hope to have the strength to cut this out and the unhappiness. Is that something you should hope for? Again, you're going to have to figure it out. You show me 2 of Pentacles, 2 of Swords, and you opened with a 2 of Wands. You are at various stages of drawing different conclusions over different things. But the more that King of Pentacles says time's on my side, it really does exacerbate the issue here. And again, so remove that particular influence, powerful as it was. And I can see that it gave you some stuff to work with. I get that. It gave you the sense of hope and potential and rising to something else and claiming new energies and new opportunities. It's currently not here. I want you to confront yourself with your 3D. Okay? And your emotional self and your spiritual self. And where does it add up in all this? Are you really just the elaborate caretaker to this? Or is parts of you really still in it? Okay, let's see that Knight of Swords. Knight of Swords, some of that Knight of Swords, some of that Knight of Swords. The World, King of Cups, 3 of Wands. Okay. Okay. You're saying when you sort your actions out, you'll know what to get back to. I can see that you're processing more than one thing. The point is that you start making decisions for yourself. I just want people to choose ownership, to stay in this and really claim it and still work just perhaps extra hard to find your emotional self in there and your spiritual attachment to this. That will require work. That'll be much more difficult than the 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles is the reason why you stayed, or the 4 of Wands. I say it's established. I have a big problem with it. You are so completely detached from it. But you've made it this far, right? That's the idea. You have to know yourself well enough to understand what's right for you and what's not right for you. When this gets sorted, this will get sorted too. It's on your energies now to quote unquote do something, but this is what actually requires your real attention. Going back to your Knight of Swords, which we last saw it, when we see that pressure attached to your heart to speak and or communicate with the one that we keep under the water, the moon. We haven't fully let go of it. It seems like a missed opportunity that can be re-engaged. We saw the World here twice over that opportunity that was resisted. Guess what showed up again? So, the World. Eventually, in time, in some way, in some fashion, in some function, I see you taking action to that world that stood as an open door concept to someone significant. Knight of Cups. I'm sorry, not the Knight. I apologize. King of Cups. 3 of Wands. You're saying, yes, I will take action towards that in due course. Just not right now. 3 of Wands. That's interesting that you settled upon this decision before any of this. I don't know why. I don't quite understand the rhyme or reason. Perhaps you best would. I want to see more resolution towards this because as it stands, it's kind of like, I still don't know. I think the Cancer I'm looking at, you think this is the main story. I'm telling you, this is the main story. When you understand this and get this sorted, what you will quote unquote do or not do with this will fall into place. Okay? I know if I could just come to a resolution on this, if I could just figure out what to say. No. Let's talk about this first. Because I have a feeling here that once this gets sorted, you'll know or what to do or not what to do with this. Okay? Priorities first. This is a priority as it relates to you. I am concerned. I'm always concerned, honey. When I see somebody build a whole world in a relationship and they are completely emotionally disconnected from it, that's a problem. That's a big problem. That didn't happen overnight. That took time. Judgment is, they're telling you, judgment, spirit's telling you, this is your imperative decision, not this. This is your decision. When you know what you're doing with this will sort itself out. I actually believe that. This requires your attention. This confusion needs to get cleared up. Okay? Whatever this is outstanding confusion, and it predates this by miles. Okay? That which takes the most work is that which requires your most attention. So, while I appreciate that you came to one conclusion here, and even then, it's a little further out, 3 of Wands, I will take action to re-engaging that world. Hearts on the line, big heart here. Just not right away. That you've made up your mind on. Cool. That's one of the 2s solved. But this big old chunk right here, we need to put a little more attention into that. Okay? So that's that devil sitting there is adding pressure to the whole thing. So I know you want to say or do something towards this. But your King of Pentacles attitude is delaying it and making it worse. So there needs to be a better compromise here. I think we're just, your emotional and physical attributes really should be redirected towards this. And working through this, do you want to work through this? Do you want to keep this? Do you still want it to be part of your everyday life? That's going to make all that pressure go away, because then you'll know what to do with this. Okay? There will be no more delay effect. There will be no more will or won't I. You will just have an answer. Okay. All right. Oh boy, this one was tricky. Let me tell you once, I did a 9-course dinner once. That was tricky. Okay? When you got 2 hands and a 5-burner stove, it's tricky, okay? To do multiple courses. Let me tell you, reading energies is a lot like making multiple courses for a fancy dinner. It gets tricky. Okay, because some people like you want to pay attention to the front burner, and this is like back burner, and the only reason you're treating it like that is because you're used to it. Okay, so this one, in its absence, you're actually giving it more of your energetic attention. But this is in your everyday physical reality, and you're like, I won't look at that. That's exactly why you need to look at it first. Okay, there you go. Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. Yeah. The Garden of Venus, the Garden of Venus, the Garden of Venus. Number 25. I agree. The Garden of Venus. That is so odd. Okay. The Garden of Venus, which is very enchanting. It's that idea of ultimate sense of peace, rest, and relaxation in a beautiful scenery. Beautiful scenery. It's the Garden of Venus, where everything thrives and grows, and frankly, it's just abundant and beautiful. Your eyes, you wish you had 2 heads so you could see everything. It's going to be so gorgeous. What is your Garden of Venus? Where do you see yourself cultivating your life's work? That was a rich and abundant, full of color and life. The Garden of Venus. Repairing the veil, forgiveness. Number 45, repairing the veil, forgiveness. I know it might be hard to see. It could have been better visually depicted. I understand what they're meaning. So here we have a world, right? We have a background, we have a sky, we have a ground. And here we have stitch work where the reality was split. Okay. Repairing the veil, forgiveness, stitching the worlds together. Repairing the veil, Garden of Venus, rest and renewal. We want to work things out with that person, that situation that represents abundance, beauty, self-love, care, nurturing energy right here. It's abundant, it's overflowing Empress energy. We wish to make repairs with this person or this situation. Do you see the lightness, the brightness, the beauty? 2545. Does this represent what's at the front of your stove or at the back of your stove? Kind of tells you, you know, what we would prioritize. Kind of says where we should be. Okay, Cancer honey, I hope this helped you. Put it in the comments. Take care. Be well.